You guys still here? Hey, this is Jim Bounds with Motorhome Rehab Ranch, and we cut off the episode 2, I think it was, of how to buy motorhomes. I had an appointment I didn't know, and Hans was making me speed up, so sorry about that. Well, look, so let's pick up. We were talking before. These are things to consider, to think about when you're buying a coach, because it's 40 years old, and these are issues that you can choose to do something or not. If you choose not to, it's waiting to drop. If you choose to do something, it will add reliability to the coach, and believe me, brother, 40-year-old machine, the one thing you want to add is reliability. Yeah, there's enough liability to go around. So, tires, wheels, rear air ride suspension, these are things that have to be done immediately. If it has an original airbag system on it, well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just if there are weather cracks or checks or things like that in the bag, it's holding. But if you go out on the road with that, that's like going out on the road with an old tire, or in your boat a leaky plug. It's going to drop somewhere, so you don't want to do that. All right, let's move on. We talked about the frame. You got to make sure the frame, and then think about the floor plan, what you want to do with it. If you're going to gut it, quote unquote, understand that's going to be expensive. You should look for something that you can use, because that original integrity is what your value is as a coach. So let's go on. Batteries. My dad always told me when you buy a used car, always buy a full set of tires, new battery, make the tires one size bigger, right? That's the American way. Batteries. I don't care what they tell you. Well, we just put it in. Okay, if they are, you got a receipt. Well, it was, last summer. Don't worry about that. I would get new batteries, because you know the known quantity that you have. It's a new battery, and at least for 36 months, if you do things right, you won't have a 12-volt issue. And believe me, when you have a 12-volt issue, the party's over. Nobody goes anywhere. So, put new batteries in it. Figure $100. Batteries today are $100. I mean, just for a battery. If you start talking yellow tops and all that, it gets out of hand, or 6-volt batteries. That's also why you set the battery up. Another video we did is how you're going to use it. But you have to consider your batteries. All right. So after that, these are all kind of disposables. Now you need a baseline on all the fluids. Well, it runs. It does. But you need to know, is there metal in the differential pan? You need to drop the filter. What's in the transmission filter? You need to certainly drop and change the oil. I don't care, you pull the stick out, oh, it looks fresh. Well, they could have put fresh oil in a nasty motor. So we want to check all that stuff, all those fluids. Brake fluid, brakes are a whole other issue. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you want to do a baseline on the fluids and know what you've got. You want to investigate the motor. You want to do a compression test to see where each cylinder is. Now, if a coach has been sitting, if his engine's been sitting for a long time, you can have different pounds of compression. But we're just looking for something where one's like 60 or 80 or something like that. We need to know they're within 20% of each other, and then you need to drive it. But you need to know these things, okay? Very next thing we need to talk about is the brakes, okay? One, you need to know the wheel's not going to pass you, and two, you got to know that the brakes are good. Now, I may even have talked about this in the first episode. It's worth talking about again, because it's got to stop. Now, it does not mean you have to go out and buy disc brakes and all that kind of stuff. An original brake system, there's nothing wrong with it, and properly set up, properly maintained, with plenty of brakes. But you've got to address the brake issue. If it works great and the guy says, hey, I just did a brake job, you got the receipts? Well, it was last summer. No problem. When we check it, we should be able to find new parts. You just have to trust and verify. It's not that somebody's lying to you, but him, last time he looked at it was 4 months ago. So, you know, for him to say he did it recently, 6 months is pretty daggone recent to him. So you need to trust but verify. You need to look at all these things. Okay. Invariably, when you buy a coach, whatever it is, you'll put at least $2,000 to $3,000 in checking everything out. And you know, your wife may say, I need a new mattress, or that toilet looks nasty. You got $1,000 or something. So expect to spend $2,000 to $5,000 or $6,000 on a coach, even if you really like it and it's just about what you want. Remember, tires, brakes, all this stuff, check that. There's all that stuff will be there, okay? We talked in the first episode about what to expect, about what to spend on one. I want to talk about that one more time. There's 3 levels, if you want to call it, or classifications. There's a core. The core may have critters in it, but it's all there. Frame's got to be good. Things have all got to be basically intact. Core, you could spend up to $7,000 or $8,000 and still get a good buy on a core. A survivor, sometimes you can find them, somebody has to sell them for $10,000. But $15,000 to $20,000 is what you should expect to spend for a survivor. Now, if the guy really has kept it up well and he's had big motors and he's done all kinds of stuff, well, that's a different story, and that's going to add a little more value because that means you're going to have to do less to it, right? So $10,000 to $20,000 or $25,000 for a decent survivor. The big question on survivor is how long has it been sitting? How long has it taken before that guy realizes he needs to sell it? That's going to determine what's going to be done to it. Rubber deteriorates, ethanol kills nitrile rubber, brake fluid kills rubber, all kinds of things like that. So time is a killer. A restored coach. A restored coach is the scariest one because you don't know who did it. Did they know what they were doing? Did they do it to flip it? I mean, did they paint lips on the pig? And what were they going to use it for? If you want a camper, you sure don't want to buy somebody that had it as a party bike, right? Well, you know where to sleep. So you want to look at the coach. What does it have? What does it have accessories? Does it fit what you need to do? Or what are you going to have to buy to make it fit what you want to be? I mean, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, you can go to IKEA and buy some things. You can go to Walmart and I've seen one of my guys put a tile backing on the back of the kitchen. Looked really nice. Those little tiny tiles, you know, clear ones. Problem is, though, after bouncing around a while, they come loose. There's different ways to do things, and you got to think about if they're going to stay together or not. Things that are done to a coach that you really like, you must recognize that as value. And you got to pay the devil his due. He did something you're not going to have to do, so that adds more value to the coach. A restored coach. We have 6 coaches in here right now in restoration, anywhere from $55,000 to $150,000 and maybe more. Depends on how far you want to go. The question is not what to do; it's where to stop. Okay. If you want to put, you know, solid surface countertops and a Mac dash or new seats, all these things. Or, you know, can you do it in stages, or can you not do it? Throw a sheet over it. I've done that. So, how much are you going to have in it? That means how far do you want to go? I put $400,000 in a 26-foot coach. I put $250,000 in a 23-foot coach. So, how far do you want to go with this? Mechanical is the first thing you want to look at when you buy one. If it's all pretty, don't let that kind of star your eyes up. Mechanical is the place that you got to look. Okay. We do a mechanical review. It's a 5-page ABC condition. It gives you at least something to go with to find out what you're going to need mechanically. From that, you set a budget and you go on from there. If you're close to Florida in the southeast, I invite you to come down here and we'll do that. Tell the guy, hey, I like your coach. Drive it to Orlando. If it makes it, that's pretty good. and we'll survey it, and it is what he says it is, you should buy it. If it's too far to come to California or you Canucks up there, you know, get a good mechanic. I'd be happy to talk to him, but you really want to have him look at all the running gear things that he knows. If you can get him to call me, tell him I'm not going to tell him his business, but I'll tell him what to look for specifically on this motorhome. You need to have it. You need to have it at least mechanically surveyed. You can look at the paint. Well, Andy looked at the paint. It looked okay, and it came off with a paint scraper. But I mean, you can look at the paint. You can make a judgment. You can look at the interior. You can push buttons and do all that kind of stuff. That's reasonably cut and dry. The thing that you really want to be careful of is the frame, mechanical condition, and is it something you can work with, okay? So look, if you got any questions, anything more about that, anything specifically, give us a poll. Let us know. If you like what we do here, don't want to join the club, send me a buck. If you do like what we're doing, support us. Send $50. You get one of our t-shirts here and a care package of pins and all kinds of doodads. And again, my gratitude. And again, my phone is on me 24/7, and that's got to be worth something. So look, appreciate you coming by. For all you ranch hands, as members, you know, there's nobody a ranch hand, right? So all you members and all you wannabes, thanks for listening. I hope this helps you. If I can help, give me a call. Bye-bye.